Isn't Christine adorable? You know, that life hack was actually like a 50-minute teaching that she condensed down to just a short snippet just for you. So make sure you follow her. Her chalkboard teachings are so powerful. So today, I have the joy of having back on the program Francois and Lydia du Toit, and the presence of God on this sanctuary is just beautiful. There's such an intimacy, there's such a sweetness, and I pray that it will go through the airwaves and it will settle on you wherever you are and whatever you're doing, whatever you're going through right now, that you will just feel the embrace, the approval, the acceptance, and the love of Father right now. I would like to tell just a sweet story right as I'm welcoming this amazing couple. I was given a Mirror Bible years ago and fell in love with it. It was the blue edition, so maybe that was like your 4th or 5th edition, and just began to consume it, and just loved the whole image bearer and made in the image and likeness of God and mirroring and just the identity piece. And I have a son that is questioning everything about his faith, and this is the only Bible that he will read. It is the only translation that he will read. And as a mother, one Christmas I sent a private Facebook message to you, and I'm sure you don't remember because you get so much communication, but I said, would you be willing to speak to my son, and how much would you charge? Because I thought that would be such a great Christmas present, because he was interested. And you immediately responded and said, I absolutely will speak to him, and I absolutely will not allow you to pay me anything. It's my honor. And I just remember sitting there weeping and knowing the magnitude of the demands on your time and what God's called you to do, and yet you were so willing to take a moment for a young man that was struggling. So I just wanted to tell you thank you. That was another reason I fell in love with you and your ministry and your heart. So it's not something that you're doing as a duty or as a career or a vocation. It is your life and your ministry. And so that's my welcome. Thank you for being here, Francois. Thank you for being here, Lydia. I'm so honored, so honored. And I know my viewers are going to just go crazy, happy crazy, Jesus crazy, as they continue to hear from you.
Such a blessing, Jen, really, to get to meet you and to just get the opportunity to engage with this amazing program that God has given you, this platform. And it just overwhelms one to realize that even every single person that is watching this program could just feel what you were sharing just now, that we share a value that so embraces people just exactly where they are at. In their situation, there is no absence in God's vocabulary. The I amness of Jesus is right here with us right now by the Holy Spirit.
Yes.
And we thank God for this opportunity to share with you.
Yes. Well, it's an honor. I love all of the commentary and the explanation about the I amness too. It's powerful. How did you get that revelation?
You know, I realize, as Lydia said in our previous program, you know, that we are participating in a conversation that has always been. You know, I thank God that when John begins to write, he's in his 90s, and he doesn't go copy-paste, you know, what previous authors would do. Like, he didn't go, well, what did Matthew say and Mark and Luke, you know, and especially Luke and Matthew concerning the genealogies of Jesus through Moses, and then Luke through Mary's lineage. But John gets to a different point in it. You know, he's 90 years old plus, and he gets to engage with a word that was before time was. And that word was face to face with the Father and became flesh and includes an audience. And so it's just such a joy to realize that in the conversation of God, as Lydia also said, that it's addressed to the individual. It has your name on it. And when you realize that this is God speaking to me, I'm not just trying to read through, you know, veils and veils and veils of stuff that's happened to me, and that interpretations that have blurred the image. But the beauty of seeing the unblurred image of all that God is, unveiled in flesh. We have just celebrated yet another Christmas, the celebration of the incarnation of the Word, the prophetic Word that had only one destiny, which was to become flesh, face to face with the human race. And whatever it was that Genesis 1 contained in the reflection of Elohim, declaring their image and their likeness on exhibit for the first time in the history of the universe. And here God comes and He not only reveals that image and likeness in its default being in Jesus the Christ, but He comes and redeems image and likeness in humanity through one single grain of wheat that did not fall into the earth and died and could possibly abide alone, but resurrected. And in that resurrection, the rebooting of mankind's authentic identity is revealed. So that is the mystery that Paul speaks of, Colossians 1, the mystery of the I amness of God. Not of the I used to be or I'm going to be. But the very present, the parousia of God, paraemi, my most immediate presence is revealed in a treasure that's always been there. You mentioned that one of my favorite verses in John 14. We've got a few tags here because there's so many amazing verses. But John 14 holds to me such a key that unlocks the revelation of the gospel, that makes the gospel so powerfully relevant, because the entire chapter 14 is Jesus on the threshold of Calvary. And his disciples are troubled hearts. You know, they wouldn't want to see themselves in any day or in any format with an absent Jesus. So he says, let not your hearts be troubled. I go to the cross to do what I need to do, to establish you in my I amness, so that I can be in you by my Spirit. So verse 20 says, in that day you will know that we are in seamless union with one another. I'm in my Father, and you are in me, and I'm in you. And the reality that our knowing does not relocate Jesus. Our knowing simply awakens our understanding to a oneness that is redeemed again, that we can be redeemed in that same amazing moment of an I amness that's present and not absent.